Hi, everybody. My name is Chris Greco of Grec Tech. I'm here to talk to you about Tableau. We'll get started right away. There's the Tableau icon. We'll double click on it. Tableau desktop will appear. This is a very quick start to this whole thing. What we're going to do is you can see all the different files that are located on the cloud area. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a text file. So we'll click on that. And the text file I'm choosing today is from NOAA, and NOAA. And I put that at the front of the title so you can see that. So this is the storm events for 1960. And you can see that when it comes up, the file is not as clean as you'd like it, right? It has a begin year month that's 196,007. So unfortunately for us is that Tableau really can't convert as well as you think it might be able to. Even if you take the date and you try to change it to a date and time or even a date, it probably will not do that as well as you think it would. So, what you try to do is you try to figure out a different way to be able to convert this. And sometimes you can use what they call a use data interpreter. Check that box on the left-hand side. And sometimes it'll be able to interpret it for you and be able to come up with a date. But unfortunately, in this case, it just didn't do that. Now, in this file, lucky for me, in this file, you can go to the right and you can see where it has a date time group. So now you can begin date time and end date time. So in actuality, this file provides it for you, which is a lot nicer than being able to convert something, whether it be a time, a year, month, begin day, begin time. You don't need to do any of that. You can they literally give it to you. So that's really nice. And what we'll do is we'll go to the worksheet next, which is at the bottom left-hand corner of that screen, the previous screen. And we're going to play with this data. We're going to make some different charts. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look down here and I'm going to see what type of areas we have, what type of variables. And I'm going to pick the month name variable. Now the month name variable comes up and of course there's nothing there. So what we're going to do is we're going to see what type of charts we can use with that. Now, I want to use a histogram. So when I go down and click on the histogram, it says that I need to be able to use a dimension, right? So what I do is I sat back and I've changed it to an attribute and then back to a dimension, which is fine. I just wanted to show you could do this with any of the variables that you have. Change it from an attribute to a dimension and back. So I have month name and then I have the event type, storm, hail, tornadoes, whatever there is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that measure to count. Now once I do that, immediately it'll turn into a histogram. And you can see where the month name is at the bottom, by month, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, whatever it is. And then you'll have a frequency count on the different storm events. You can see most of them happen May and June in that time frame. Now I'm going to go to a filter and I just this is drag and drop stuff. You can drag and drop this stuff to the filter, your variables to the filter. The filter comes up, I say I want tornadoes. And I'm thinking about applying it, but I think I'm going to put hail in there too. And once I click on apply, you'll notice that the histogram will change. Again, a lot of them occur in May and June, but not as many as you'd think. It may be the same, but the different months change with that area. So I'm going to get rid of the filters, get rid of the column, and get rid of the rows. We're going to start all over again. So this time what I'm going to show you is, rather than a histogram, I'm going to show you something a little bit different. I'm going to take and put on the column side, I'm going to see if I can do some graphics for you here and show you some graphic areas. So I'm going to put state up in the column, and you can see now on the show me side, on the right hand side, a couple of the areas come up. And you can see where if I want to do a map, then I'm going to put the event type there. And what I'm going to do is change the event type to, again, count. That gives me all the different states. But if I click on that map up top, and I just double click on it, all of a sudden this will change into a circular definition by circle. So the bigger the circle, the more events happen in that state. When I change it in the marks area to color, it changes it into a count of color into what they call a choropleth map. So in a matter of 2 or 3 steps, you now have yourself a choropleth map, and you can go to each state, and each state will show the events that occurred during that time frame. So this is something that is really, really interesting from that standpoint. It's so easy to do, and it's very, very nicely done. So you can really relax in that area. So I'm going to get rid of all this stuff. And what we're going to do next is we're going to see if we can do a line chart. So I'm going to put the begin day there. So it'll have 0 through 31, and then the event type. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to change it, the event type, to count again, and you notice immediately the line chart will come up. So this is something that you can, again, these are things you can do almost immediately with this Tableau. And again, you can go along the lines, and you can see different areas, different events happen, different days. Again, this is only 1960 now, only 1960. So these are things you can do. Now if I go in the filter, I want hail, and I'm just going to apply that, and you can see this is the event of hails, of the amount of hail. So this is, again, count, so hailstorms for each day. And you can see the 16th seems to be a big day for different storm events, the 16th and the 28th, 29th. So it's like the middle and the end of the month. Interestingly enough, I mean, it may be something that's correlative, it may be something that's causative, I don't know. So we'll add tornadoes onto that, apply that one, and we'll see if there's any difference. Well, you can see again, the 14th, the 16th, and the 28th seem to be pretty high, but there's another peak there around the 4th, 5th when you add the tornadoes. Again, this is just very easy to do. You can filter this down to different types of states. You can put different states in there. All I want is Pennsylvania. So I'm just going to put Pennsylvania in there, and you can see that, it seems to have one event all the way through until about the 20th, and then all of a sudden from the 20th, 24th, it goes up. And you can see when you change for the count that you can do different types of counts, or you can just cancel it through and do it that way. So there's a lot of different things you can do with Tableau, and this is Tableau Public now. This is not something that you have to buy. It's free from Tableau. So www.tableau.com, and now you have yourself a nice evaluative piece of software that's basically for free, and you can do a lot of different things with it. You can see you can change that range of counts for different days. So now you can just have that specific raise of counts. So it's pretty amazing what you can do with just a couple of different variables with each one of those. And again, this is data that you can get. I gave you the site in the beginning of it. So you can go ahead and use these as anything you want. Now this what I'm showing you here is just if you have different states, right? So these are all the different states all the way through from 0 to 31. And you can see all the different states, every single one of them, and how many events they had, each state separately, through that area. Now you can see Oklahoma. There's a lot in Oklahoma. Not that much, basically, in South Dakota, Tennessee. And then all of a sudden, you may get to another one here, Texas, Florida, those types of states. And this is just for hail, but I'm going to do them all and see if there's any difference in here. And it looks like there's some that kind of pop up there. Ohio has a few. So all of a sudden, when you talk about thunderstorms and those types of things, notice the Show Me on the right-hand side. The Show Me will show you all the different types of possible graphing that you can do, visualizations you can do with this. So I'm just moving things around to show you how when you move the variable to different areas with columns, rows, or whatever else, all of a sudden you have different types of charts. So this is a different type of chart for you. So it's kind of a line chart type area, but it's almost like a line bar chart, and you can see those different areas there. So that's, again, many things you can do with Tableau, and this is just basically a quick start, just to give you data and be able to move that data through the process there very quickly. So within a matter of 5 minutes, you have yourself a nice set of visualizations that you can use to be able to do the things you need to be able to get done. And this is state by state here. So again, this is a different type of state approach to looking at those. And that's just event type. You need to put count. And then once you put count, you notice this chart, which is really interesting, has the different states. If you look, I mean, they're very small, but if you look, you can actually see the different states, whether it be, you can see Maine. That looks like Maine, really small Vermont. These are just some of the things you can do with those areas. So it really is a lot of fun to play with and to see those different areas, and to present different types of charts with different types of, and there's back to your choropleth map. So a choropleth map is relatively, it's not that easy to do in some of the GIS, geospatial areas. And this is a dot area. It shows the size of the dots. You can do it that way. It's called a tree map, which is really interesting because it was developed in Maryland, University of Maryland. So this is a tree map, shows all the different sizes of squares and rectangles for storm events. So you can see again, this is 1960. And then when you're done with everything, you exit. Now, when you exit out of this, what'll happen is, I say no, because what'll happen is that it will go away. So thanks again for watching. And if there's, please subscribe if you're interested. I'm at GRECTECH. And please stay healthy. Stay positive, but test negative. Learn, offer, value, and educate. Our motto here at GrecTech.com. Have a great day, everybody.